Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. The big news out of Poshmark this week is apparently Poshmark is suspending sellers who cancel too much. It was a rumor at the beginning of the week and people are getting confirmation. Poshmark is talking a little bit about it if you email them. So what does this mean? So basically Poshmark is suspending accounts that cancel and cancel and cancel and cancel. What are the rules? I don't know, because Poshmark really hasn't put out a statement regarding this new policy. I have a friend that emailed, and I had another friend that was talking with a rep within a conversation. One of the answers to the email was 3% over a 90-day period of sales. The other one was 5% of your sales over 90 days. So who knows? What that means is that in 100 sales, if you do 100 sales over 90 days, you can't cancel more than 3 or 5 or you'll be in trouble. You'll be up for maybe suspension. And if that happens, what happens? Basically, you're unable to interact. You can't make purchases. You can't edit or list. And additionally, your listings are not visible to any other users. So it's like you do not even exist. Apparently, you can get reinstated. So there's a form that you fill out to get reinstated. You have to commit to commit to ship all future sales within 2 days. That was one of the rules of being reinstated. I haven't heard yet whether anyone has actually been reinstated yet. I haven't heard about a lot of people that have actually been suspended. The one that I can think of was not deleting items that sold on other platforms, because we have this deleting policy that, you know what, you get a suspension. You can't list for a week if you violate that. So they weren't deleting any of their listings, they were just leaving them up, and they would sell, then they would cancel. So obviously this is not a good practice, because you can't, I'd much rather be suspended for deleting something, like not being able to list for 7 days. Not that I want that, not that it's happened to me, but I don't want my future account totally suspended and not visible for whoever knows how long. The deleting policy is sort of a thorn in the side. You can still delete items on Poshmark. You do have to be careful how many you delete. I did a purge of my inventory. I had about 15 or 20 items that they're really old listings, getting no attention, been relisted and whatever. So I'm redonating them. So there's about 15 or 20. And I deleted them over the course of 3 days. And I had no problems. Now that's a small number. It's not a huge number. So I don't know what the larger sellers are doing when they need to delete something. But there are other ways. You can mark something for $1,000 and nobody's going to buy it. You can try marking it not for sale. You can try putting your closet on vacation mode and deleting, if you have a bunch, delete them then, trying something like that. But back to canceling. I think if you are selling on another platform, you have to find a way to delete those items on Poshmark, because I think that's just a sound thing, business thing to do. Reasons though with this is because it's so vague right now. If a buyer requests that you cancel, that should be on the buyer, not on the seller. So the buyer should have consequences, which I'm sure Poshmark is watching as well. But that's something that, you know what, as a seller, if the buyer asked me to cancel it, I would more than likely want to do that. That way I keep my item and everything else. So at buyer's request, or maybe you're going to bundle them with other items. Maybe somebody buys something and said, oh wait, I've liked that other thing in your closet as well. Can we cancel them and we'll bundle them together? So those two scenarios really aren't the seller's fault, and they're still, the one is trying to get a bigger sale and the other one is on the buyer 100%. So Poshmark has to find a way to differentiate from that, because that's not the seller's fault and we shouldn't have to pay the price for it. When the seller no longer has the item available, that's on the seller. If there's a flaw that you didn't notice, it's unfortunate, it does happen, but that should be the seller being held accountable for sure. In theory, I do like this rule. I think it will make the platform stronger and better, but they need to have a way to police it and to bring it out properly, which is a little scary is too strong of a word, but it makes me a little nervous, because Poshmark has been notorious for bringing things out and not having, you know, the backup to that plan, and chaos ensues. And this is just another thing in a long line of things that they have brought out during Q4, which has been crazy. And people are getting really, really fed up with them. 100% fed up with them. Between the live sales and now this, and it's the way they're bringing it out. It's not necessarily the rule. The deleting and relisting policy that they brought out with absolutely no information, that was chaos when it happened, and it's still causing chaos for some people. But again, it's just a good rule in theory, maybe, in a sense. Even though they're my items, if I want to delete them, I should be allowed to delete them. So I don't know. So we'll see what happens with this. We will keep my ears open to see if anything else happens. I'll get more information as it comes out and let you know. So if in the meantime, if you have a buyer that's asking to cancel a sale, I personally would bring Poshmark into that conversation on the sale and ask them, saying the buyer wants to cancel, is it okay that I do that? And have it there in the sale in writing, in sense, so that if something does happen, you have recourse. You can say, hey, no, but this person told me it was okay. If you're bundling, if you're canceling to bundle, I would still probably do that. If you're canceling because you don't have the item, just keep in mind the 3%. I would say 3%, because at least that's the lower amount. If you're within the 3%, you're good. If it happens to end up being 5%, then you're even better. So just keep in mind the number that you are canceling within a 90-day period, and try to deal with it as best you can. When in doubt, though, I would be emailing Poshmark and asking them and giving them a heads up and bringing them into the conversation to get their side. That's why we pay them 20%, right? And that's so they can help us deal with all the things we need to deal with. Another interesting thing is that they brought out, it was in the banner this morning for the news feed. I'm looking right now because I want to make sure I say it right. So it says, get an early look at our redesigned app and tell us what you think. Space is limited. Tap to reserve your spot. So they're asking people to sign up for this feedback sign up thing, which is great. They're hosting 60-minute sessions, and you get a first look at the redesigned experience, and you're going to share your thoughts, which is great. And you complete the form, and if you are chosen, you'll receive a $50 gift card. It says you'll receive a $50 gift card or $50 gift card if you're in Canada. Is that not the same thing? Yeah. Anyway, a lot of people were talking about this, and they were upset because you have to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. And you know what? That's par for the course, and that's fine, because they don't want people going into the redesign, and these are ideas, and they're not set in stone yet, because they're trying to figure out what's going to work and what's not. So they don't want people going off sort of half-cocked, talking about things that aren't going to happen. So to me, the NDA is absolutely fine and dandy. But people were freaking out. They were like, oh, that's shady, that's shady. It's like, it's not. It's business. And, that's all right. So I did sign up. I don't know if I'll be accepted. We'll see. Why not? I won't be able to share anything if I do get... I don't know if I'll be able to tell you if I'm selected because of the NDA, but I know that if I am selected, I can't share anything with you at that time. But you know what? I want to get in on the ground floor, and I want to give Poshmark my thoughts on things. And I thought this was a really great way to do that. But yeah, that's it. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Saturday. I did go sourcing today. We went over to Toulouse. I wasn't going to because it's kind of snowy, but I did. I'm going to film a haul for you for Wednesday. Well, next week is a very busy week, but that's okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be good. That's about it. I'm doing laundry and getting things situated today, and that's it. I'm going to take a break and maybe play some cards with Paul later. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Poshmark strikes again. As usual, we are dealing with no information, little information, wrong information, and Poshmark, I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Anyway, besides all that, I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will be back Monday with my accountability shorts in the morning. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else I don't think I needed to say at this moment in time. I do hope you all have a good day and a good weekend. See ya.